Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and week 5 of the van build.
You nervous, bub?
Nervous about what?
About the leak.
Alright, I've messed up. Dang it. I knew I was going to do this. I knew I was going to do it. Now, I don't know if you can tell or not, but it is raining outside. So I've been hanging out in the van, just watching TV, just kind of relaxing today. But I'm about to get started, and there's a few things that I wanted to focus on in this particular video. The main thing that I want to focus on is running my electrical lines for my DC power. I'm going to be starting on my cabinets very soon, probably in the next videos whenever I'm going to be working on my cabinets. And I want to get my DC lines run before I put my cabinets in, just so it's a little bit easier to run them through the walls. Now I am going to have to take my mattress out because I'm going to be running my lines up underneath my bed where my batteries will go. So I kind of need it to stop raining so I don't get my mattress wet. So if it doesn't stop raining today, then I'll probably work on that tomorrow. However, since it is raining today, there's something else that I wanted to do, and that's with the Maxx Air Fan up here. I haven't had any leaks. Everything's been going really good. I was talking to some people on a VanLife group, and one particular person mentioned that I should, when it starts raining, I should take the van down the highway 60, 65 miles an hour just to make 100% sure that there's no leaks as I'm going down the highway and to make sure everything's good, which I thought was a really good idea. I didn't even think about doing that. So I think that's what I want to do first. I want to go get my brother and take the van down the highway and have him come back here and look at it and make sure that there's no leaks while I'm driving down the highway, because I don't think, actually I know I have not driven the van in the rain at all yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and go pick up my brother, and then we will test this out and see if it works. So I went and picked up my brother, and I'm hoping that it's going to rain a little bit harder than this, but he's going to take the camera back there and see if it's leaking.
You nervous, bub?
Nervous about what?
About the leak.
Oh no, I'm pretty confident it's going to be okay.
Around back there. I'm really not sure what I'm doing with it.
That's all right.
But
no leaks.
No, nothing.
Okay, it's the next day and it's still pretty wet outside, so I really don't want to take my mattress out and risk getting it dirty or getting it wet. So I think I've come up with a solution for that. But before I do that, I kind of wanted to just sit down and explain exactly how I'm going to be wiring up my lights. So let me draw this out real quick. This is going to be, and it's probably going to be backwards from where I have the camera, but this is the front of my van. This is the back. This is where my Maxx Air Fan is. And this is my side door. So I'm going to be running 6 puck lights in my ceiling. So my power is going to be back here in this back corner. And then my switch is going to be up here by the door. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn this around, and hopefully you can see it well enough. Okay, so I'm going to have 6 lights in my ceiling. So I have these colored markers that I borrowed from my nieces. I've got red for the positive and black for the negative. So from my power, what I'm going to have to do is run a positive line and a negative line both to my switch. Then from the switch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come off of the switch, and then I'm going to go around the perimeter of my van to each of the lights. Then what I'm going to have is a three-way connector at each light. So I'm just going to use this green marker to symbolize the three-way connector. And then from that three-way connector, I'll run another positive line to each of my lights. And then basically what I'll do with the negative line is the exact same thing. I'll run a negative line all the way around, and then use a three-way connector and connect the negative lines to each of the lights. Now, the way I'm running these lights is parallel. Now, if I were to run these in a series, basically what could happen is if something happens to this first light, then all the lights would go out. Kind of like the old style Christmas lights. When one of the bulbs goes out, the rest in that line past that bulb will go out. So if I ran these in a series, that's possibly what could happen. When I run these parallel, the power will go through the line, and then it will go through this way to the light, and it'll go straight on down the line to power everything else. If I ran these through a series, the power would go through this line to the light, and then from the light to the next light, and then from that light on, and so forth. But since I'm running on parallel, there's going to be one solid line going all the way down. So even if this first light goes out, all the other lights will still work. So I'll go ahead and just mark my negative lines as well. Oh, and I didn't mention, these end lines will just connect to the last light there. So I know that this is kind of a rough diagram on this, but I hope that any of you out there that are building a van and installing lights like this, I hope this helps a little bit, because it took me a little while to find exactly what I needed to do with these. Now that I've explained that, I'm going to show you how I'm going to get around pulling my mattress out. I don't want to pull it out since it's all wet outside. So I have some PVC pipe, so I'm going to cut one of those down to length to where a little bit of it is up above my mattress, and then some of it's down below my bed, so I can just run the wires through that. I'll leave the PVC pipe in there, and it'll just be back behind the wall once I get the walls completed. So, and don't judge me on my bed. I decided not to make my bed this morning since I'm going to be up here working. It was kind of pointless. But basically right next to this, I'm just going to run a PVC pipe up along this framing piece from the top of the bed down to under the bed, so I can just run the wires down underneath it. I figured that would be the best and easiest option. I cut it a little long. Okay, let's see if this works. Alright, so now that won't be seen permanently, the wall will just go right over it. So now it'll be easier just to run my wires up through that and above my bed. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my fan wires hooked up. it got dark outside. However, temporarily I've installed a shop light in my van so I can do actual work in the van when it's dark out. So I'll be flipping the camera around to show you everything. That I have the wire hooked up to the Maxx Air Fan that's in the ceiling. I have the line ran for my refrigerator when I get that. I haven't even gotten the refrigerator yet. I have the line ran to where I'll have an extra fan over in the corner, and my composting toilet that I'm going to be getting, it will have a 12-volt fan that runs all the time, so I had to run a line to that as well. So let me go ahead and flip the camera around and I'll show you, and then I'm going to get started on running the lines for the lights. Here are the supplies that I'm going to be using. I had to go buy another roll of 14 gauge wire. I got scissors, tape, and then the 3-way connectors that I'll use for my lights. I need to put some more adhesive. I'll probably go tomorrow and get some for here. This I didn't put enough on there and the insulation's falling down. I'll fix that tomorrow. But as you can see, the pipe that I used is working really well, and that'll be back behind the wall once I get the wall finished. And then I have the wires running up through this channel in the corner of my van. And that's basically what I'm gonna do with the lights. I'm gonna run a wire underneath the bed, and it'll come up here. This is where my switch will be. And then I'll move the wire up and then just go around the entire van with it, and then tape the areas where I'm gonna have the lights in the ceiling. Okay, scratch that idea. I don't think I'm gonna run it through here anymore. I think I figured out a new way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and run it up here, and then I have these holes, these small holes in here. I think I'm just gonna run them through there and then just run it across over to the next one. I think that'll be a little bit easier, so I'm gonna try that real quick and see if that works. Yeah, that's going to be a lot easier, I think. So that was definitely a lot easier. So basically I start over here where my switch is going to be, and then the line will run up underneath my bed, and then it'll go from the switch and it'll go up to the top, and then I have it run all the way around my ceiling where my lights will be. So now I just need to go in, and this is just the positive side. I haven't ran the negative lines yet. I'm just getting the positive side done right now. So now that I've got this line run, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the connectors. All right, I've messed up. Dang it. I knew I was gonna do this. I knew I was gonna do it. So how these work is you have the 2 holes on there. The top one, the wire has to go all the way through. I may be able to do this, hold on. Never mind, I got it. That scared me for a minute. Okay, so I've got the connector on there, on the main wire. So now I just need to cut a shorter piece that will run to my light. And I want to make sure I cut plenty off so that I have plenty to work with. So now this small piece goes in the bottom section. Just slides right in there. And then there's a stopper in there to stop it. And now that I have both of those in there, there's this little metal piece right here that I have to use some pliers to clamp down, and then that will fuse the wires together. Just like that. And then it's got this piece right here just to close it all together. Just like that. And now these are connected, and this will run power to my lights. Or to my first light, I guess. So now I just need to go through and do that 5 more times for the positive, and then I can run my negative lines and do the same exact thing. All right, I got all of them connected now. The positive lines anyway. So now I need to work on the negative. I have a feeling that after I have this done and all these wires hanging up here, I'm gonna really want to get my ceiling done to hide all this. But I'm very excited to get this done. I'm just one step closer to getting my lights put up. All right, so it's obviously the next day, and the inside of my van is looking kind of like a jungle. I don't know if you can see it or not very well, but I have all the wires running to the lights, where the lights are going to be anyway. I have all those put up and ready to go. And also, since I've been working on the wiring, I wanted to show you this. I have 3 solar panels in here and a charge controller. And there's an awesome story behind these. So Jimmy and Natalie, they have their own YouTube channel, and I've been watching them for a while now. They have been watching my videos, and they reached out to me recently and wanted to send these out to me. They had no expectations whatsoever by sending these over. They just messaged me and asked me if I wanted them. So I just wanted to come on here and say a huge thank you to you guys. This is gonna save me a lot of money when I start diving into my electrical system. So thank you so much. If you all aren't already subscribed to their channel, I'm gonna put a link down in the description of this video. If you all could head over to their channel and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. So I think this is where I'm gonna end this video. I am gonna wait until tonight, whenever it gets dark, and I'm gonna temporarily hook up my lights in here and get them all turned on to see how bright it is in the van with all my lights on. So I'm really excited to do that, so I'll be sure to show you that at the end of this video. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next Tuesday. All right, moment of truth. Hopefully all 6 of them work. Oh. Perfect. All 6 of them are working. Oh, I'm so glad. And it brightens it up pretty good in here. And I think that whenever these are up in the ceiling, whoop, well, I probably shouldn't have done that. But when these are up in the ceiling, I think that it will be even brighter. Awesome. I'm so happy with this. Camera back there and see if it's leaking. I do bloopers.
Yeah, but, well.
That's one bloopers.
Is it recording?
Yeah. Don't you do it. That would be so funny. You're watching my videos and then you pop up my bloopers and you just die.
Yeah. it's huge.